I know I shouldn't be complaining, but it is so hot. Hey everyone, so this is part 2 of my bookshelf tour, and here I'm kind of going over the bottom part of my bookshelf, like the last 2 rows over here. I forgot to mention in my first video that I organized my books by the author's last name. So let's get started. So this is the bottom part of my bookshelf that I am going to go over. So in this first part of my bookshelf right now, I have a little bit of a Jodi Picoult collection going on because I love her. And the first book I have here is Change of Heart. Next I have House Rules and Keeping Faith. Next is My Sister's Keeper, and this is actually the first book I ever read from Jodi Picoult. Next I have 19 Minutes and The Pact. And then next I have Salem Falls and Sing You Home. And the last one on the shelf is The Storyteller, which I recently read and I talked briefly about in my January book wrap-up video. And the last thing I have, usually when I have like little spaces on my shelf here and the next book over here doesn't fit, I usually put like a filler book just so it doesn't look really empty. And I usually use these Shel Silverstein books, and here I have Where the Sidewalk Ends. Alright, moving on to the second shelf. I actually have one more Jodi Picoult book, and this one she wrote with her younger daughter, Samantha Van Leer, and it is called Between the Lines. Next I have Bleed for Me by Michael Robotham, and this is about a man whose friend's daughter comes over one night and she is drenched in blood, and she is being charged for the murder of her father, and it's just a crime suspense kind of book. And then next I have the first 6 books of the Harry Potter series. So I have The Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, and The Half-Blood Prince. And last on the shelf I have The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I didn't like it as much as other people did, to be honest. There was a movie of this starring Saoirse Ronan, so you guys can check it out if you want to. I wasn't like a huge fan of the book or the movie. Alright, so moving on to the third part of the bookshelf. I can't really move over here because my bed's in the way, so here we go. I have a couple of L.J. Smith books here, and she's famously known for writing The Vampire Diaries. And the first one I have here is The Forbidden Game, and this includes The Hunter, The Chase, and The Kill. And basically it's about a group of friends who start playing a game and it becomes real intense. Next I have the first 3 anthologies of the Night World series. So I have here Secret Vampire, Daughters of Darkness, Spellbinder. This is the first one. Second one is Dark Angel, The Chosen, and Soulmate. And the third is Huntress, Black Dawn, and Witchlight. I'm pretty sure, I think she's already published the other books, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But this is such an amazing series. To be honest, I read The Vampire Diaries and I really like the Night World series more than Vampire Diaries. Next I have the first 2 volumes of The Vampire Diaries, and I have The Awakening and The Struggle. And the next is The Fury and Dark Reunion. And the next I have a collection of Nicholas Sparks books because I'm myself and I like Nicholas Sparks and romance. So first I have At First Sight. Next I have The Best of Me and The Choice. So that's all for this part of the shelf, and now I'm moving on to the last part in this row. Next I have Dear John. I have The Last Song, and this is the movie with Miley Cyrus. And I watched the movie and I really liked the book a lot better. Nights in Rodanthe. Next I have The Rescue, which is probably my favorite Nicholas Sparks book. Safe Haven, True Believer. And last I have A Walk to Remember, which is probably my second favorite Nicholas Sparks book, but it's very close to number 1. Next I have The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. I had to read this for school and I hated every minute of it. Next I have Before I Wake by C.L. Taylor, and this is definitely a very suspenseful, really good book. Next I have The Tattooed Soldier by Hector Tobar, and I had to read this for my first year in college and it was amazing. Next I have Johnny Got His Gun by Dalton Trumbo, and I think I had to read this for school, but I don't remember a lot of it. And next I have He's a Stud, She's a Slut, and 49 Other Double Standards Every Woman Should Know. by Jessica Valentine. My cousin gave this to me, I think for my 16th birthday. She said, this is really important for you to know, and I love this book. It's just like a list of double standards that I feel like we don't always pay attention to, like between men and women, and it just kind of sheds a lot of light on so many like inequalities and stuff, and it's amazing, and it's done in a very humorous kind of way. So if you're interested in books like this. Alright, so we're moving on to the bottom portion, the last part of my bookshelf. I can't really move the camera down here because then you can't. That's really awkward. So it's down here. Okay, so let's get to it. The first thing I have here is The Devil Wears Prada by Lauren Weisberger. I watched the movie first, and it's one of my favorite movies ever. And then I read the book, and I don't remember enjoying it as much. Next, I have a trilogy by Scott Westerfeld, and the first book is Uglies, the second is Pretties, and the third is Specials. I haven't read the fourth book, which is Extras, and now it's technically not a trilogy because he added a fourth book, but whatever. Next, I have Water Song by Suzanne Wayne, and this is a retelling of The Frog Prince. Next, I have Happiness Sold Separately by Lolly Winston. Don't remember too much about this. I read it a while ago. Next, I have Rockabye From Wild to Child by Rebecca Wolf, and this is a memoir written by a young mother. Next, I have Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. I have The Pigman by Paul Zindel. And last, I have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, which is an amazing book. The movie was almost there, and I thought it was great as well. Not as good as the book, but it was great. And then last, since I have a little bit of a gap here, I have 4 Shel Silverstein books. The first book I have here is The Missing Piece. Next, I have Falling Up, A Light in the Attic, and The Giving Tree. And then the rest over here, they aren't really books, so I'm not going to go over the last 3 parts of this. The first part here, I just have a couple of magazines and my textbooks for school. And in the shelf next to it, I have a bunch of my notebooks. These are my writing notebooks that I use for writing. And in the last part of my bookshelf, I have all the books that I am planning on reading just tucked away in that little cupboard there. Alright, so that was a bookshelf tour. If you haven't already watched the first part of this video, I will leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out. I plan on doing this like kind of every year at the beginning to kind of see where I am at with all the books and stuff, and I rearrange my bookshelf a lot. I'm always reading new books, and I'm always adding like different knickknacks because I just love rearranging my room. So I'll probably do this at the beginning of the year, once a year, just so I can see my bookshelf and see what it looks like. Alright, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you another time. Bye!